Alright, what is up everybody? Today is a very big day. Title probably already gives it away. The Eclipse is going for a dyno tune. That is right, the Eclipse is going to be put on a dyno and tuned. We're going to get AFRs right, we're going to hopefully get the idle right, we're going to get everything set, and the car is going to get tuned for 93 octane fuel, so we'll be able to tweak the ignition time and a few other things a little bit more and squeeze a little bit more power out of it. And we'll finally know just how much power this car is making. If I'm able to make over stock crank horsepower to the wheels, I'll be satisfied. Hopefully I at least make stock to the wheels. The engine's got not quite 100k on it probably, so it's still relatively new. It shouldn't be down that much on power, plus with the bolt-ons and the deletes and stuff that it's got, plus 93 octane and an aftermarket ECU, it should make quite a bit more horsepower and stock. We'll see. Yeah, I'm actually about to leave right now. One thing I want to show you guys that I installed over the weekend in preparation for this trip, because I have to drive about an hour away from the house to get to the tuner, is I installed the SunPro tachometer. I installed that right there. Works really well. This one has what's called 2-cylinder mode, so all I have to do is plug the green signal wire from the tachometer into my one of my signal wires from the ECU, and it reads and gives the proper tach signal. Basically, it's able to read RPM from that, where most tachometers, if it's not a SunPro, don't have that option. SunPros are the only ones I've seen that have that. This one I paid $36 for, which is cheaper than most of the off-brand cheap eBay tachometers you can get. And this one's a real nice, almost factory looking, just gray, plain. It does have a shift light, which I don't have working. It's not ugly, it's not like Sport JDM or some garbage like that. It's a genuine SunPro. Looks good, looks clean. So enough of me talking, let's start heading out to the dyno. Alright, I'm here. I'm here a lot earlier than I expected to be, so I may go out and get something to eat while I wait, because I don't think they're here yet either. But I'm waiting for him to message me back. But we are here. This is the place. Nate used to actually live down this way, about maybe 2 or 3 miles out, so I'm pretty familiar with this area. We used to ride our bikes all over around here, so hopefully in just a little bit we'll be driving the car in and getting it on the dyno. session. Didn't do too much of the filming, basically just had the GoPro sitting there recording it, everything as it was going on. The car is tuned. It ended up making 136 horsepower and 133 torque. Also, I'm going to add this clip in real quick somewhere where it makes sense to add it. The car, when we put it on the dyno and ran it before any tuning was done, it made, I think, just over 120, just a fuzz over 120 horsepower, and at the end of the day we ended up making 130. So with my own tuning that I did in the auto tune, we were able to get to 120 horsepower, and then once we got some real tuning going on, we were able to get it to 136 for peak horsepower, which is really good. 16 over where it was, and I don't know what these cars make to the wheels stock, but I'm sure that's a lot more than what they make to the wheels factory. And then if you look at the image I added in, I don't know where I'm going to add that in, but I'm going to put an image of a picture I took of all of the dyno graphs. You'll see that at the very top end, between like 6 and 7 grand, 55 and 7 grand, it stays very, very level, whereas early on it falls flat on its face. Let's cut back to the rest of the video. For a naturally aspirated, basically stock with you bolt-on 2-liter engine from the 90s, you know, from 1995, is absolutely incredible. And the car is so much better just driving around. All my throttle hesitation is gone. The mid-range picked up a little bit. The top end picked up a ton. We found basically nothing wrong with this engine. In fact, we found out this engine is incredibly healthy, which is really cool. My motor mounts definitely need some replacing sometime soon before I start adding a whole lot of power. They're okay for now, but once I start adding any more power to it, I'm definitely going to need some much stronger engine mounts. And the suspension is totally wasted on this car, but with the car running perfectly now, I can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I can finally quit repairing engine stuff, running stuff, and start moving on to bodywork and suspension. Suspension being top priority. Every front control arm, ball joint, inner and outer tie rods, soy bar end links, every bushing in the back of it is all being gone through. I'm also going to be putting brand new brake calipers on all the way around because we think one of them might be sticking just a little bit. Car ran incredibly well the whole way here. Everything is much smoother and a lot crisper than it was because the car transformed so much with just the Mega being installed and doing the auto tune, but having a professional dyno tune done made a world of difference on this car. It was absolutely worth getting the dyno tune done, and it was a lot easier on me. One thing I've decided to do, I think, because I haven't got the idle air control valve totally figured out yet, and I don't think I'm going to worry about it too much. I think I'm going to do an IACV delete on this car more than likely. It's a pretty common thing on Hondas. Like, we had one that we saw that idled like factory with no IACV, didn't need any help starting or anything. So I think I'm just going to do that. And if the car is running really well, then it shouldn't be a big deal, especially since I have the adjustable idle screw on it. I don't know if I've showed you guys that yet or not. I think that's going to be the end of this video. I'm going to, real quick, shout out Soto Tuned. That's who tuned the car for me. I don't know if he has a Facebook or a website, but I do know he has an Instagram page. And if you want to find any other social media that he has, you should be able to get to it from there, or just message him or something. If you're from the Northwest Ohio area, we've got some people that, I guess there was one guy there that came all the way from Michigan as well, Jackson, Michigan, but he's up in Toledo is where the dyno shop is located. If you need any tuning done, he does a whole bunch of stuff. If you want to see if he can tune your car, go ahead and message him. I think Instagram is you can message him on. I have his personal Facebook that I've messaged him with to get a hold of him, but yeah, and he does a lot of Hondas, it seems like. So I know he does a ton of Honda stuff. He did 2 of them while I was there before we got mine done, and he does a whole bunch of other stuff. He had a Mustang he was going to do as well, a Fox body, but it was having head gasket issues. So that's going to be the end of this video. I want to thank you guys for watching. I want to thank you guys very much for following along with me on this journey I've been taking with this car. You guys have finally gotten to see the car get to a pretty sustainable spot where I can drive it and I can enjoy it a little bit.
Still needs a lot of work, but it's come a very long way. That's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys very much for watching. Make sure to that like button. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to the bell if you want to see some notifications when I do finally get around to uploading stuff. And I will see you guys later.